Grace and peace to all of you from God our Creator and from the offspring of His mercy. We greet you today in all that is loving and honest and true and all that inspires us. And I'm happy to have this privilege and this chance to share with you on something that I think is absolutely important, if not indelible, for us to consider. One of the great struggles of life is not just to trust the journey, but to be comfortable, to be at home in the process that you happen to be in. I have found over the course of my life, and I'm sure you have found over the course of yours, that different people get to where they're going at different times. There is no one way to get there. There's no one opportunity to sort of get it done. And the great challenge of life and the great challenge for all of us is to have a very clear and concise commitment to what it is we're trying to do. That's why every now and then it's good to look at people who have gone on the road that we're trying to bear ourselves on. It's good to have examples so that we can point to them and understand how we can handle the curves, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the jibes and jibs of life. That's why I want to bring your attention particularly to the father of monotheism, at least in the Western world anyway. I want to bring your attention to Abraham. The Jewish religion respects him, Islam respects him, and Christianity respects him as well. The three major religions of the world, all of us coalesce around Abraham, because he's a powerful witness and he gives us a lot to think about. And I want to focus on one particular part of Abraham's journey because I know for sure it is going to transform and make us better. Here's what I want you to understand. Abraham did not get what he wanted until he was 75 years old. Let me just say it again. Abraham waited 75 years to have the son that he wanted to have his whole life. It took him 75 years to get to where he was going. And he wanted a son. Now, let me just be clear about this because sometimes we don't flesh this out enough. Having a son for Abraham meant that he would have posterity, that he would have a legacy, that he would have something to show for his life, that he would have something to leave to someone, and that he would not just have been an afterthought, a footnote on the backdrop of history. Abraham wanted a son because in the ancient world, not to have children meant that your fortune died with you, your name dies with you, your future dies with you. Abraham wanted a son, and he waited 75 years before he could have one. Can I stop here and just tell you something very important? It's not enough to know what you want to do. You also have to know why it's important to you. What I just did for you is I told you why Abraham wanted a son and why it was important for him. You need to know why what you're trying to do is important for you. The what is not enough. You have to have a relationship with the why. Why are you trying to become that? Why do you want more money? Why are you trying to have more accolade, more attention, more greatness? You need to have a connection and a relationship with the why, because the why is the thing that makes it uniquely yours. And without the why, you'll never fully understand what it is you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? It goes something like this. If I had $30,000 and three people in front of me, and I gave one $10,000 and the second one $10,000 and the third one $10,000, each of them would have $10,000. But they would have different reasons why that $10,000 is important to them. That's important. Let me tell you why. For the first one, the $10,000 is important for security. For the second one, the $10,000 is important for validation. For the third one, the $10,000 is important for opportunity. Those reasons will determine what they do with the money. Are you understand what I'm saying? The first one will save the money. The second one will show the money. And the third one will invest the money. In each case, it's still $10,000. Each of them have the same thing in their hand, but they have a different relationship with it because their reasons are different. You need to know why you're trying to do what you're trying to do. Why do you want to be a dad? Why do you want to be a wife? Why do you want to be a DJ? Why do you want to be a singer? Why do you want to be an actress? Why do you want to write a book? Why do you want to build a business? Because unless you understand that and have fleshed that out duly and with all of the dexterity that it deserves, you will not have a sufficient narrative to drive you forward when life gives you a reason to stop. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Life is going to give you a reason to stop, and you need to be connected to your why so that you can say to life, come hell or high water, you can knock me down, broke, busted with a black eye, but I'm not stopping. I'm going to go where I'm determined to go because I'm clear about why I'm trying to get there. You understand what I'm saying? When you know why you're trying to go, the journey has more dedication, and you have more dedication to the journey when you're connected to the reasons that make it important for you. Abraham wanted a son. And I want to say it again for those of you who missed it. It took him 75 years to get what he wanted. 75 years to get the thing he'd been waiting for. One wonders right now, how many nights did Abraham sit alone in the dark and think to himself, this is never going to happen? How many nights between year whatever and year 74 that Abraham sat alone and wondered to himself and said to himself, I'm never going to get what I want. I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to have a kid. I'm never going to have a legacy. My name will die with me. My fortune will die with me. My future will die. How many days did Abraham wander along some distant river thinking to himself, I missed my moment? Because who gets to have a kid at 75? Who has a kid at 75? And when Abraham was in his 20s and his 30s, he must have thought to himself, but I got to do it now. If I don't do it now, it's never going to happen. And then he got to be 40 and it still didn't happen. And then he got to be 50 and it still didn't happen. He's 60 and he still doesn't have it. He's 70 years old and he still doesn't have it. And how many days did Abraham think to himself and look over to his wife and say, we've missed it. We've missed it. We've missed it. And how many days did he sink into despair and recrimination and sadness and depression? But today, Abraham speaks to us. Today, Abraham gives us a message. He invites us to mourn for all the people, all the men and women who have given up too soon on what they wanted, who, because it didn't happen when they were 20 or 25 or 30 or 45, who walked away from what they wanted because it didn't happen in the timeline that they expected it to happen. Let's say it again so that you can follow me. Abraham got a kid, not at 50, not at 40, not at 20, not at 18. He had the kid at 75. And we mourn for all the people who get up and walk away from their dream and walk away from their future only because they had a timeline in their mind that life didn't have for them. Stop walking away because it hasn't happened yet. Stop walking away because you can't see what's coming around this corner. You don't know what the next bend or the next turn will mean for you. And we mourn for all the people, again, who give up on their dreams and walk away from the things that they say that they love and want the most because they've contrived a timeline that is not in line with the true destiny of their lives. There are a lot of us right now. There are a lot of us right now who can say there's some things in our lives that haven't happened yet. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. There's something in your life, there's a part of your life that hasn't happened yet. It could be financial, it could be romantic, it could be professional. We all have something that hasn't happened yet. And the worst part of it is we have people around us for whom it's already happening. They're already married. They're already in the profession we want. They already drive the car we're looking at. You with me? They already have the feeling we're chasing after. And it's hard to be surrounded by people who already have what you're still waiting on, who already enjoying what you're still praying about. Huh? They can't even relate to you. You sitting around worried at night about trying to get this, and they're taking it for granted, and you're praying to try to accumulate and to have it. We all have something in our lives that hasn't happened yet. It is a melancholy truth. It is a melancholy truth that you don't get to be grown without having something that you're still waiting on. We are all waiting on some level in some way for something. And the great tragedy of life is that too many of us, we drown in the wait. We die in the wait. We lose each other in the wait. Husbands and wives lose their connection in the waiting. Fathers and sons cannot relate because one is waiting and the other one doesn't realize that he still is. Friendships fall apart in the wait because people become different when they have to wait. The despair, the weight of it, the pain of it, the disappointment of it, it changes people. Huh? It is like a load on your shoulders that you were not meant to bear. The waiting, sometimes it's not the getting, it's the waiting that crushes us. How many people do you know in your life who have almost literally drowned in the waters of the wait? Abraham speaks to us. He speaks to us, and he reminds us of something indelible. You know, in America, we like to talk a lot about age, right? Americans are real big on age. How old are you? right? We like to talk about Zuckerberg. I don't know how old he was when he get Facebook, 20-something years old. We like to talk about how old people are when they become wonderful and famous. We love age in America. Because we believe that age has something to do with destiny. And in America, we celebrate age. It's interesting because, let me just say this, I have read the Quran, I have read the Torah, and I have read the Bible, and no place in any of these great texts do I see any respect for age. I see David becoming king when he is a boy. I see Hezekiah becoming king when he's 8, and I see Abraham getting a son at 75. Maybe you didn't hear me. I see David becoming a king when he is a young man. I see Hezekiah becoming a king when he's 8 years old. And I see Abraham getting a child at 75. Sarah gets pregnant at 90. Y'all not with me? My point is this. Nowhere in these great books do I see the Creator respecting age. Age is not what we should be focusing on. Age is not the critical thing. Our God is not a God of age. He's a God of seasons. And it doesn't matter what your age is if it's your season. We focus on how old we are. We tell people, you're too old for that, or you're too young for that. You're too young to lead that. You're too young to say that. It's not about how old you are. It's whether or not you have sufficiently been seasoned for what it is you're about to get or ask for or come into. There's some people who are 50 years old and they ain't seasoned yet. Evidence, Abraham. He didn't get his son when he was 50. He didn't get his son when he was 40. He didn't get his son when he had to wait until he was 75 years old because that's when his season came. Can I tell you something today? That your season has nothing to do with your age? It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter what the chronology of your life happens to be. The only thing that matters ultimately is whether or not you have come into the fullness of your season. And when it's your season, hear me, when it's your season, nothing can stop it. When it's your season, nobody can get in the way. I wish I could throw something at that camera. When it's your season, I don't care if your mama don't like it. I don't care if your daddy don't like it. I don't care if your best friend doesn't support it. When it's your season, it does not matter. You can't even stop your season. When it's your turn to be at the front of the line, can I say this? Write this down. Nobody can curse what God is about to bless. I should walk off. I should just walk off now. Because when it's your season, there is no evil, no devil, no Hitler, no Trump. Come on now. Nobody can stop it when it's your time. So you're not waiting for an age. I want you to get off age. Get your mind off age. Get your mind off, I'm 30 and I should be married. I'm 30 and I should have a house. I'm 35 and I should have 3 kids. I'm 40 and I should be in my dream. Get your mind off age because your age is not impressive. Your age does not qualify you for anything, nor does it disqualify you for anything. Your question is not how old are you. The question is this your season? Give me something to throw. That's the only question that matters. And let me tell you something in no uncertain terms. That's why you don't have to compare your journey and your life to anybody else. Because you may be of the same age, but you may not be in the same season. You two may have been born on the exact same day and the exact same year and still be in different seasons. I'm helping somebody. I came to liberate you today. I need you to stop comparing where you are to other people because age and season are not the same thing. The same age does not mean the same season. And you can be in the same season with somebody who's half your age. Are you hearing me? You can be in the same season with somebody who's 3 times your age. Stop trying to connect with people because you're the same age. Connect with people because you're in the same season, the growing season, the reaping season, the building season, the giving birth season, the I'm not afraid season, the I'm not insecure anymore season. That's what you want in your life. You want people who are connected to you in the right season. My goodness, I'm telling you this. And when you do that, you'll travel differently. You'll feel differently. I'm not done yet. I got some more for you. Let's take this break. And let's understand Abraham and your life a little better right after this.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
Can I just say what a difference a year makes? A year ago, we all had shoddy Wi-Fi. The lighting was not together. It looked real. Blair Witch Project.
This weekend on Fox Soul.
I have revived myself from the COVID-19. I am COVID-free.
Watch your favorite shows of the week.
Is it going to be a calmer, gentler show tonight? We've got Q with water, which his body's probably like, what the hell is this? And we got Al drinking tea.
Fox Soul Weekend.
I never thought I'd see the day.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
If y'all would want to see Cocktails with Queens from Aruba, where you can maybe join us for a live version, put some fire in the chats if you want to see that happen.
Cocktails with the Queens.
Who would be the drunkest on our trip?
You.
Ray.
No, you know, I don't even drink like that.
Right.
Every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
But when you do,
Sip and
Welcome back, everybody. My word to you today is to keep going. Ultimately, I'm invested in the task of trying to compel you and to convince you not to give up suddenly, not to give up surreptitiously on what it is you believe and what you deserve. Remember, our paradigm today is Abraham. It took Abraham 75 years to get to what he wanted and to have what he needed the most. Let me remind you of something I think is very important. Just because people get there quicker than you doesn't mean you're not going to get there at all. Did you hear what I just said? You should have wrote it down. Just because people get there quicker doesn't mean you're not going to get there at all. Don't misunderstand the quickness of an arrival with the necessity of an arrival. Other people will get to what you want before you get there. Are you understanding? Because that's how life works. We're not on the same schedule. You follow what I'm saying? Some of us grow hair on our faces sooner than others. You follow me? Some of us walk quicker than others. Huh? Some of us learn how to ride a bike sooner than others. Some of us learn how to read sooner. None of us are on the same schedule. But just because somebody gets there before you doesn't mean that you should condemn yourself into believing that you're not going to get there at all. Are you following me? Oh, I need to give you this. Receive this in your soul. There's enough joy, there's enough success and greatness for all of us. I should just walk off because that's really the whole meat. There's enough greatness for everybody. And life and love and God, they're not going to run out of greatness when you get there. Are you following me? That's why when other people get what they want, you ought to celebrate it, right? You ought to celebrate it. When people come into their season, celebrate it. Because their season is not your loss. When people get what you're waiting on, you should celebrate it because it reminds you that it's still there. It's still there. It's still possible. Are you following me? And that person has not and they cannot exhaust what it is you're waiting for. This is good stuff. I came to liberate you from the bondage of trying to do with your age something you can only do in your season. I came to liberate you from the misnomer that you are bound to some expectation associated with your age. Are you following me? I need to liberate you because you and I have been walking around believing that certain things are supposed to happen at certain ages, and I'm telling you, it's not your age. There's some things you could only do in your season. And when you understand that, you understand that God is not blessing you because you're 34, and God is not blessing you because you're 20. And God is not helping you because you're 50. And God is not seemingly ignoring you because you're 18. Huh? When you get blessed, it's because it's your season to have that. And when it doesn't happen, it's because it's not your season. And when it's not your season, then your only job is to prepare yourself for the opportunity that you're waiting on. Because let me tell you something. Inasmuch as it is the case that age cannot promote you and age cannot deny you, preparation can make the journey a lot more difficult and 3 times as long. Because you'll never get what you're supposed to have until you've proven yourself to be able to handle it. Are you understanding? I tell people all the time, doesn't matter how old I am, I'm waiting on my season. And when my season comes, I know it's mine. It's mine. You understand what I'm saying? And when it's my season, nobody can change the weather. Oh, God, I wish I could throw something at the camera. When it's your season, nobody can change the weather. Nobody gets to change the weather when you're walking in the fullness of the season of your life. And I know sometimes you feel like you missed your moment. I know sometimes you feel like you missed what you're waiting on. But let me tell you something. Write this down. You cannot miss what's waiting on you. God, that's good. You cannot miss what's waiting on you. It's not about you missing the moment. The moment is waiting on you. What you were born to do will wait on you. And the only reason you don't ever do it, some people never do it, is because they give up before they have a chance to get there. Let's go back to the original thought. Abraham waited 75 years to have a son, 75 years to have a family. And every day he kept going because he believed that sooner or later, I'm going to have what I've been waiting on. Let me tell you something to your face. What you want is waiting on you. Your destiny will wait on you. I got some good news for you. You can't miss what you were born to do. Aretha Franklin used to sing a song. Rock Steady Baby. You know, Rock Steady Baby? That was Aretha Franklin's song. And what she was saying was, while you're waiting, people will laugh at you, but you just rock steady. Huh? People will talk about you like a dog, but you just rock steady. People will tell you that you ain't nothing and you don't come from nothing, but you hold your tongue and you just rock steady. I feel good about this. People will doubt you. People will condemn you, but you keep your mouth shut and you just rock steady because you know that sooner or later you're going to come into the fullness of what you were born to do. You know that your season cannot be denied, and you know you can't miss what you were born to do. Sometimes you got to stand there and smile and look at people while they're judging you and just rock steady because you understand that what's waiting on you is waiting on you. It ain't waiting on your neighbor. Come on, man. You know what I'm trying to tell you? What's yours is yours, and nobody can take it. Nobody can snatch it out of your hand. That house is yours. The car is yours. The wife is yours. The husband, yours. Kids, yours. The position, the job is yours, and it's waiting on you. Nobody can take your position. Give me a shoe, I swear. Nobody can take your job. If they got the job, it's because it wasn't yours. If they get the woman, she's not yours. If they get the man, he's not yours. What's yours is uniquely yours. And you shouldn't want anything that don't belong to you. Huh? You ought to be glad when people get things that are not yours. The worst thing in the world is for you to waste your time travailing in something, idling in something that you're not supposed to do. The worst thing in the world is to be good at something you're not supposed to do. To get promoted in something, to get validation from something you ain't supposed to do. It's a powerful thing, and I need you to understand this because I think it's very simple. I think it's very important that we understand this in no uncertain terms. Let's go a little deeper. See, what we get caught up in is time. Now, come on, let's go deeper. Stay with me. We get caught up in time, but Einstein taught us that time does not exist. Time does not exist. Come on, let's go deeper. You tuned in, so let's go. We get caught up in time. 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, 75 years, 18 years. You do understand that there is no such thing as time. Ask the moon what time it is, and the moon doesn't know. Go to Jupiter and ask whatever's there what time it is, Ask the rings of Jupiter, and the rings of Jupiter will tell you, we don't know what time it is because time don't exist here. Time is a construction of the human mind. Our minds are constructed in such a way that we impose time in order to make sense of experience because of the structures of our mind. So we superimpose time on everything. We create days and weeks and months and years and decades and millennia. You understand? But go ask the river what time it is. And the river doesn't know. You know what the river does know? The river knows what season it is. Oh God, this is so good. Go ask a tree what time it is. The tree doesn't know what time, but the tree knows what season it is. It knows if it's fall. It knows if it's the winter. It knows if it's the summer, because time is what we have created. It's amazing. But I wonder what we would be if we were not so bound to time. I wonder how much happier we would be if we did not assault ourselves with time, beat ourselves down with minutes and days and hours and years. Here's an interesting thought. Write this down. The Hebrew word for time is the word shana. Spell it any way you want to. It's shana. I bring that to your attention because that word in Hebrew, the Hebrew word for time, shana, it also means disguise. This is good. It means time. Shana in Hebrew means time, but it also means disguise. Here's what I'm trying to say. It means that for 75 years, right? That's what the word shana means. Time, years, shana. For 75 years, for 75 shana of Abraham's life, it looked like something wasn't happening, but it was happening. Because the Hebrew word shana means disguise. The word for time and the word for years also means disguise. It looked like something was true for 75 years, but it wasn't true. It looked like he was missing something, but he wasn't missing anything. Because the years and the time were disguising, hiding what was really going on. Can I say something to you? What would you say if I told you that hiding behind the years and the time happens to be the secret, subtle work that life is doing on your character, on the better parts of you, your better angels? That life happens to be working on you in such a way that when you get to where you're going, you'll have the character to stay there? God, that was good. That life has to work on you so that when you get what you prayed for, you will not destroy it after you get it and destroy yourself because you have it and destroy everybody around you. That it may look like it's taking a long time, but sometimes it takes that long to get you to the place where you can handle what it is you're born to do. Are you following me? Malcolm X was a great leader. Malcolm X was a great leader when he got to be in his 30s, a great leader in his late 20s, but he was a thug and a thief in his teenage years. Imagine if the publicity and the notoriety had come to Malcolm when he was 18. Huh? What if Malcolm was 20 years old and had gotten all the attention? He would have ruined himself. He would have ruined everybody around him, and he would have ruined black history and destroyed future generations to not have his witness. He had to wait until he was ready to handle the notoriety and the attention and the acclaim that he was born to have. It was coming. He just wasn't ready for it yet. Can I give you some advice? Something deeper is hiding behind the time that you think is being wasted now. Something is happening. The years and the time that you think is taking too long, something deeper, something is hiding behind it. A great work is being achieved. Transformation, a rebuilding of who you are, the adjustment of your desires and your tastes and your appetites and your patience. Let time do its work and stop resenting it. I'm not done, people. I got a lot more. You tuned in the right day today because I'm going to get you ready. There's something waiting for you that you got to do. If it takes 75 years, then so be it. However long it takes, when it's your season, that's when you want to come into your fullness. Let's take this break. I'll be right back.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Can I just say what a difference a year makes? A year ago, we all had shoddy Wi-Fi. The lighting was not together. It looked real. Blair Witch Project.
This weekend on Fox Soul.
I have revived myself from the COVID-19. I am COVID-free.
Watch your favorite shows of the week.
Is it going to be a calmer, gentler show tonight? We've got Q with water, which his body's probably like, what the hell is this? And we got Al drinking tea.
Fox Soul Weekend.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm determined today to deposit in all of our lives and in all of our souls, our spirits, the kind of stick-to-itiveness, the forbearance, the commitment to something that allows us to go forward and to grab it in spite of how things may look or seem or even be feeling to us. It's a melancholy truth, and it's amazing that sometimes we have to tell ourselves, I don't care how it looks, and I don't care how I feel, I don't care what the day is saying to me, I understand what I was created and born to do, and that's what I'm going to do. It's amazing because I don't really care how long it's taking you to get what you want. That's what Abraham provides for us today, this great witness, that you can't get caught up in how long it's taking and miss the fact that you're moving. The journey is still being undertaken. You understand? Hear me right now. You are not as far away as you were a year ago. You are not where you were a month ago. You're not where you were 6 years ago. You are closer to the thing that you want the most. You are nearer than when you started on this journey. And the great challenge for all of us is to embrace that truth. That something, listen to me, that something good is happening. We get up in the morning, and because we haven't had a full manifestation of the vision, the dream, whatever it is, we say because it's not all here, none of it's here. That's not true. Sometimes your vision will manifest itself in parts. This is so good. Sometimes your dream doesn't come whole. It comes in parts. Something good can be happening even if the whole thing isn't happening yet. Ask yourself this question before you give up, before you turn on yourself, before you assault yourself. Ask yourself this question. Are you not closer than when you started? Are you not nearer than when you first believed? Are you not making some progress at all? And if the answer to that is yes, then you have to celebrate the accomplishment. Celebrate the fact that you are making progress in spite of how it looks to people who don't appreciate the progress that you've made. It took 75 years for Abraham to have his son. It took 75 years for him to come into his season. That's a long time to be waiting for something. I admit it, but I got good news for you. I said this before, both on this program and on the book of Sean, and I say it because it's important to repeat it. There's a reason why the Greek god for opportunity is a baby. There's a reason why the Greek god of opportunity is always represented as a baby, because the message is opportunity never gets old. Opportunity in the Greek pantheon of whatever they call it was always represented as a child, not even a child, as a baby. Because the thought is opportunity never gets old. Opportunity never gets ancient. It is always fresh and new and ready to be acclaimed, received, and taken advantage of. Here's my point to you. I don't care what your age is, the opportunity is as young and as new as the day you were born. Oh my God. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'm telling you, see what we do is we confuse the age of the opportunity with the age of the man. Please understand that the age of the man or the age of the woman has nothing to do with how old the opportunity is. The opportunity is still young and fresh and waiting to be discovered. You're the one getting older. Don't think that because you're older now that your opportunity is ancient and withering away. That ain't how it works. It is as fresh and as new and as vibrant on the first day that you ever conceived of doing it. The first time you ever thought about it, that's exactly what it is right now. It is immutable. It is unchangeable. It is not given to the dictates of time and chronos. It does not live under the weight of aging. It is that moment for which you were born is as ready and as pristine and as available as it was the day you came into the world. It's a powerful thing to consider. It's a powerful thing to consider because what it should do, it should tell you that God, it didn't matter to God how old Abraham was. Because let me say something to you, and you may not like it, but I'm going to say it anyhow. It didn't matter to God how old he was, that he was 75 years old, because sometimes innocence is a limitation. Hear what I'm trying to tell you. Innocence can be a limitation. You see, there are some songs you can't sing until you get to be a certain age. There's some things you can't say until you get to be 25. Huh? There's some books you can't write until you get to be 30. There's some positions that you can't fully fill until you get to be 40, because innocence is a limitation. How can you tell me that life will heal me if you've never been sick and got healed? How can you tell me not to give up on my dream, you follow me, if you've never almost given up on your dream, did give up on it, and found it again? Innocence is a limitation. People who have never been through nothing, don't know nothing, never struggled through nothing, don't have moral authority to tell me anything. Are you understand what I'm saying to you? It's when you're no longer innocent. Huh? It's when you're no longer innocent and when you're no longer pristine and you got some bumps and some bruises and some mistakes under your belt and some failures and your mistakes, then you earn the right to look at somebody and say to them, don't you worry about that. I can tell you how this ends. I've seen this movie, I've lived this movie, and I've come back to tell you everything's gonna be all right. Huh? When I would go to religious events, go to services, I was very keen that everybody can't preach to me. Everybody can preach, but everybody can't preach to me. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying you can't preach to me. If you ain't never made a mistake, you can't say nothing to me, because I make mistakes. You follow what I'm saying? If you ain't never done nothing wrong, I can't receive your gospel because I do things wrong. I need somebody who knows what it is to travel an unorthodox and unusual road. Here's my point. I'm only trying to get you to understand that maybe part of the reason it's taking a long time, and in your mind taking too long, is because life and love and God are trying to remove your innocence. Because an innocent man, an inexperienced woman, a naive person can't handle what you've been praying for. And maybe it's taking as long as it is so that you will no longer be innocent. You will no longer be naive. When you come into it, you'll come into it with wisdom and with gravitas. Gravitas. Because you've climbed mountains and gone through valleys and you've been sick and got healed. You've been lost, you've been found, you've been blind, now you can see. You were with somebody, lost somebody, married somebody, divorced somebody, had kids, lost the kids, kids grew up. That's what you want. You want when you come into your season for you to sit in your season and dare anybody to tell you anything about what you've been waiting for. That's the beauty of the moment. And maybe it's taken a long time so that you can wash that innocence off you and put on real life. Because only a real man and a real woman living in a real life can handle real greatness. Let's take a break.
just say what a difference a year makes? A year ago, we all had shoddy Wi-Fi. The lighting was not together. It looked real. Blair Witch Project.
This weekend on Fox Soul.
I have revived myself from the COVID-19. I am COVID-free.
Watch your favorite shows of the week.
Is it going to be a calmer, gentler show tonight? We've got Q with water, which his body's probably like, what the hell is this? And we got Al drinking tea.
Fox Soul Weekend.
I never thought I'd see the day.
I was young when I learned there was a difference between us and them. The only crown I've ever worn is the one growing out of my head. But I have a secret that will expose them all. So whether they like it or not, I belong here.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother,
yes.
You, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
breathe right into your foot,
your plumber's masseuse,
yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
If y'all would want to see Cocktails with Queens from Aruba, where you can maybe join us for a live version, put some fire in the chats if you want to see that happen.
Cocktails with the Queens.
Who would be the drunkest on our trip?
You.
That's Ray.
No, you know I don't even drink like that.
Right.
Every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
But when you do,
Sip and Serve on Fox Soul.
Welcome back, everybody. I am dedicated, absolutely committed to the proposition of you and I being ready for when our season comes and having a different association and a different relationship with the time that's passing while we wait. I understand clearly that it's the wait that often kills people, but if you understood the necessity of time, the necessity of waiting on your season, the necessity of allowing seasons to change, you would celebrate the fact that it's taking as long as it is, rather than negating it, resenting it, and hating it. Here's what I'm trying to say. I tried to say it before we took our break. There are certain things you're not qualified to do until you get into a certain stage of your life. And a stage of your life is not a certain age. It means a certain level of experience. Are you following what I'm saying? You want to have a certain level of experience before you see, nobody who ain't never dated nobody, ain't never been with nobody should marry the first person that they meet. You don't have the experience. You don't know what you're doing. You don't even know yourself. You don't know what you like or what you don't like yet. You follow what I'm saying? It's an analogy, but the point remains true nevertheless. You have to live a little. You have to die a little. You have to come back from the dead a little. You have to hurt a little. You have to hurt other people a little and seek forgiveness a little. You have to be forgiven a little. You follow what I'm saying? You got to fail a little and succeed a little and climb a little and fall down a little. Huh? You got to discover different things about yourself. Let's go deeper. You got to lie a little and then tell the truth a little. Be called on the lie you told a little. Huh? You got to go through all those experiences so that when you become the king and you become the queen and you become the leader and you become the center, you will have a full understanding of what human beings are capable of because you know yourself. Huh? Nobody can lead you astray sufficiently because you have enough experience in your back pocket that you can pull on that when you need true counsel. Because the greatest wisdom that comes to you doesn't come from other people. Your greatest teacher is your own experience. God, I could walk off right now. Your great teacher is your life, your experience. And sometimes life will make you wait because you need one more experience. You need one more relationship. You need one more heartbreak. You need one more job. You following me? You just need one more week until you're able to become exactly what you're supposed to do. It's not about age. Write this down. It's about substance. It's about having the substance to handle what it is you've been born to do. The analogy goes something like this. You cannot build a wide building on a narrow foundation. The taller the building, the bigger the base has to be. Are you with me? The taller the building, the bigger the base has to be. And while you wait, you're not being cursed or condemned. While you wait, life is building the base, making you broad and deep and strong in places that most people can't see, giving you a strength that most people will never be able to tap into. It took Abraham 75 years to become wide enough, to become deep enough, to become wise enough, to become strong enough to handle what he was born to do. And I know you wonder why it's taken so long, and I know you wonder why you have to wait so long, but Abraham comes to teach us that the deeper the well, the sweeter the water. That's a South Carolina saying. My mama used to say that. The deeper the well, the sweeter the water. A shallow well don't give you sweet water. If you want the water sweet, you got to let the well dig deeper. And that's why it's taken so long. It's taken so long so that when you pour out the water of your life, people can taste the sweetness of it. And the time that you're waiting and meandering and sometimes suffering, all of that is to deepen the well. So that when you get to where you're going, you're not turned off by a text message. You can say to a text message, you can text me anything you want. You ain't stopping me. You see, when you've had to wait on what you want, a tweet does not stop you. When you've had to wait on what you want, an Instagram post doesn't break your spirit. When you've had to wait and had to fight for what you want, 75 years, 30 years, 50 years for what you want, you don't care if somebody don't call you back. Are you kidding me? You ever say to people, do you know how long I've been waiting on this? People who get it too soon. God, I wish I could name names, but I can't. People who get it too soon, who get the fame too soon, huh? They're in an event and they win the event too soon. Then when the pressure comes, and then when people's eyes are on you, and when the scrutiny comes, right? Your well's not deep enough. Your base isn't sturdy enough. You can't handle the rocking and the leaning, huh? Because you got it too soon. You got it too soon. Today, I want to remind all of you, in no uncertain terms, the ultimate goal of life is to make the waters of your life thoroughly sweet. To make the waters of your life thoroughly sweet by making sure that the well is deep, that you have gone through enough, you've seen enough, you know enough to handle it. And sometimes it takes years, it takes seasons, it takes decades for God to deepen your well. But the passing of time, let me say this to you, is not a condemnation. Because you've been waiting 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, you're not being condemned. You're being prepared. And don't look at the passage of time as a condemnation about you. Life is not trying to condemn you. The goal of life is not to condemn you. If life wanted to condemn you, it never would have brought you here. Huh? If life wanted to judge you, it never would have brought you here. It would have cut you off at the pass. You'd have been dead at 3 weeks. You'd have been dead at 3 days. You'd have lasted a half hour and been out of here. The reason you've lasted as long as you lasted is that something is building. This thing is building. Are you following me? Your life is building toward crescendo. You're building towards something elaborate. Something powerful is about to happen. And that's why you didn't die when you were 3 weeks old. That's why you didn't lose your mind when you were 12. That's why you didn't get kidnapped when you were 16. Because this thing is building towards something. Truth of the matter is this. No matter how much time passes, it is what it is. It is what it is. 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, it is what it is. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Stop worrying about how long it takes. Stop getting caught up by how long it takes. Can I give you an analogy real quick? When you go to the airport, different people get to the airport at different times. I'm one of those people. I like to get to the airport early. I can't deal with the stress. I like to just sit at the gate. But it doesn't matter when you got to the airport. He got there in an hour. She got there 3 hours. She got there 15 minutes ago. Here's the important thing. As long as you all get on the plane. If everybody gets on the plane, then when you got to the airport, it doesn't matter. And I got good news for you. Everybody is going to get on this flight. The flight that is your life, the flight that is your destiny, it's bound to take off. And it doesn't matter when you get there. Stop getting caught up on when you get there. As long as you get there, that's the only thing that matters. If I had a shoe, I'd throw it at you right now. Let's take a break before I break one of these cameras.
kind of hard for me to refer to Caitlyn Jenner as trans because your politics don't support the trans community.
TGIF.
Are you really trans, or are you trans to make us forget about the vehicular homicide you committed right before you transcended halfway?
Girl, she giving us Brandy Norwood.
Serving up all the tea. Wednesdays and Fridays.
Beep.
On Fox Soul.
Who got the keys to my Jeep?
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
You later remarried to Usher Raymond, who we all know.
Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored.
You pulled up one day and was in his lap, and you snatched a stripper out of Usher Raymond's
Snap your damn shit. That's y'all putting two on the tip.
Every Thursday.
Tamika, you're from East Oakland. You did not walk in and say, please leave.
I have the potential to snatch some wigs. However, I did not on that day. Well, maybe I did.
On Fox Soul.
I was mad at him. The anger was directed in the right direction.
Listen, everybody, let me say it again, because I think it's worth the trouble of repeating. When you get to the airport, doesn't matter what time other people got there, as long as you get on the flight. My word to you today, in these final moments that I have with you, is to remind you that you're not going to miss this flight. The pilot is not going to take off without you. Matter of fact, when it's your flight, you're the only passenger on the plane. This flight cannot leave without you. Your destiny will not leave you. You following me? We have to free ourselves from the bondage and from the repression that we start to think about how we're going to miss things and not accomplish things and never become things and never have this or never marry that. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. If I could reach into your mind and cut that little switch off that compels you to keep telling yourself that you're not going to have, stop it. The pilot is not going to leave you on the ground. This plane will not take off without you. Trust your creator. Trust your better angels enough to believe that indelibly. And Abraham shows us what happens when your season finally comes. He shows us that when it's your time, nobody can stop it, because he turned 75, and guess what? He had his son. And when the time comes, the time is going to come. I said it before. I love saying this. Nobody can curse what God has already blessed. And when it is time for you to give birth to the thing for which you were brought into the world, poverty can't stop it, politics can't stop it, the president can't stop it, a pandemic can't stop it. Nobody can come between you and what you were established and sent here to do. Nothing can inhibit it in any way. That's the thing you got to believe. You have to believe that you're never too old and you're never too young and you're never too anything for you to have the fullness of what it is you were sent here to do. Abraham was born to have a son. He was born to be the father of a nation, and it took him 75 years to be what he was born to become. Maybe you ought to be a little lighter on yourself. Maybe you ought to be a little more charitable towards yourself as you think about the passing of the years, as you think about the time that's going on. You look at some people and they're 26 years old and they're millionaires, they're 27 years old and they drive in Maybachs or something, huh? G-Wagons. And you looking at your car wondering, where's my G-Wagon? Why don't I have a G-Wagon? Huh? I should have one of those. How do you know you're not gonna have one? You can write this down. You cannot condemn yourself to greatness. You cannot condemn and beat yourself up to greatness. You understand what I'm saying? If you're going to get there, you have to celebrate yourself along the way. People talk about the Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant was a friend of mine. We were friends for 24 years. We were friends. Talked to each other on the phone. Hang out with each other when we came to each other's cities and hotels. I knew Kobe Bryant. And I know one thing about Kobe Bryant indelibly. Kobe did not condemn himself to greatness. Every shot he made, he thought he was the greatest thing that ever walked on the earth. Every time he did something, he celebrated how great he was and how much better he was about to become. We think if we condemn ourselves, it'll inspire us. It will not. You have to tell yourself, I'm accomplishing something wonderful, but it is nothing compared to what I'm about to become. It's not that you celebrate and you become satisfied. It's that you celebrate and you become even more desirous. I'm trying to help you understand something. That your moment is waiting on you to have a healthy relationship with it. Maybe your moment is waiting on you to get your psychology and your spirituality together so that you won't die under the stress of the thing you've been waiting for. You see, this is a time of preparation. It's a time for you to reconnect, to reaffirm your ambition. This is so good. Sometimes life will make you wait just to make sure you want it as bad as you say you do. Because what you don't realize is that bright light comes with hot heat. You've asked for the thing that you want, but you don't realize what comes along with it. And sometimes life has to make you desire it more so that when it gets difficult to hold on to it, you won't get weak fingers. Could it be that we have not sufficiently thought about in ways that are important what it will take for us to get and to hold on to the thing that we've been waiting for? And maybe the aim and the goal of life is to bring us into a clarity, Nothing, you see, write this down. The price we pay for clarity is misery. God, that's good. The price we pay for clarity is misery. The more miserable you become, the more clear you are. And sometimes life has to let you go through a season of misery just to make it clear to you that you want it as bad as you say you do. Because when you get it, and everybody's calling your name, and your phone's always ringing, and everybody's asking you for money, and everybody sees you as a come up and an opportunity, Oh, people call you now just to say hi, because you ain't got nothing. But wait until you got $20 million in the bank. No calls will be just to see how you are. Everybody has an angle. Can you handle that? Can you handle not knowing who your real friends are? Can you handle not knowing if a woman really likes you, or if a man is really attracted to you? Can you handle that? Never knowing if people genuinely want you? Can you handle that? Can you handle your mother and your father becoming your dependents? Can you handle the role reversal? Can you handle your siblings selling you out? Ask Oprah Winfrey. Ask Oprah Winfrey. Can you handle your family members selling stories about you to the tabloids and the blogs? Selling you out for $100,000. You ready for that? That's why I try to tell people all the time, and I say it to myself indelibly. Rejoice on and in the journey you're on, because it's the one you're supposed. You are exactly, hear this, you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. This is where you're supposed to be right now, and that's okay. You are not supposed to be anywhere else. This is where you're supposed to be. Now get everything out of it that you're supposed to get. I should just walk off. If this is where you're supposed to be, get everything out of it you're supposed to get. Squeeze the place, squeeze the moment, and get all that's supposed to be given to you so that you never have to come back here again. If you miss the lesson, you have to repeat the experience. If you miss the lesson, you repeat the experience. But if you get the lesson, you get to graduate and you get to move on. Woo, this is good. Listen, I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you don't feel inspired and wanting to keep going, I can't help you. Keep going. Life's about to do something great for you. Thank you for tuning in, for watching Fox Soul Sunday. I will see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And by all means, keep going.
When the storm of life